Well, it was chronicled there in that montage. Maxx Crosby, what an offseason it's been for him. This is a dude whose motor is always on. 10 sacks last season. No other Raider had more than 5. And our guys, David Carr and Omar Ruiz, had an opportunity to catch up with him yesterday.
Maxx Crosby, fresh out the weight room, looking good there great, with your shirt off, man. How you feeling?
Appreciate it. I'm doing amazing, man. It's a blessing. Back in training camp, feeling great, and just been awesome just being back out on the field and being with the guys.
Look, man, we're just going to jump right into it because I don't believe that there are any cosmic accidents. Like, there's nothing that happens in this universe that's an accident. So, like, the off season was a little bit different than you've probably had in the past. What have you learned from? What did you take away from it that has kind of made you say, oh yeah, this is going to be positive no matter what?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. I believe everything happens for a reason, and things. Sometimes the storm comes to clear the way, and when you're in it, you can't really see that. But once you change that perspective and realize, like, I'm living my dream. You know what I mean? Since I was a little kid, this is exactly what I wanted to do since I can remember. So there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be a lot of craziness, and people. When you talk about what you want to do with your life and dreams and what you want to accomplish, like. Sometimes, people say, be careful what you wish for. That's a part of it. I don't take that as a bad way. Like, everything that's gone on, like, I don't look at it as a negative when everybody else is like, you good, bro? You good? And I'm like, yeah, are you good? Like, why are you freaking out? Like, what bothers me is when people stress out about things that, like, they try to, like, act like they know what's going on in my head and whatever. I'm like, I feel like I'm living in a video game. Like, this is, if I was a kid and I was like, yeah, you're on SportsCenter, they're talking about this and all this craziness, I'm like, that's sick to me.
Well, that's what I want to ask you.
I'm a human.
I knew you would have the right perspective.
Yeah, I love it. And also, I love having my back against the wall. Like, I love when people doubt me. That's my story. I'm a 2-star recruit. Like, I had to beg for teams to give me a damn offer. And now it's like, it's the opposite. And I think that's cool. And ultimately, like, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be in life. And when you worry about tomorrow and you worry about yesterday, you're not present. And my biggest focus is being present and being the best leader and player I can be.
So in the course of all those things, like, one of the positive things that came from it is you guys started signing defensive players, and you got.
I wasn't mad about that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like amazing how the world decides to lay that on our table. So you talk about the defense, like, you guys, a lot of attention, as there has been all morning, has been on Clint and the offense and Fernando and Kirk and who's it going to be. I'm like, defensively, these guys are going to be legit. Like a really good defense. Talk about some of your components in defense.
Yeah, I mean, you add a guy like Quay Walker, N'Kobe Dean, you re-sign Eric Stokes, like those three, the Georgia guys, like they can all play at a really high level. You got Tonka Hemingway, a young guy from South Carolina going into his second year who's had an incredible offseason. We have a lot of young guys. Like, it's the youngest group. I'm always used to being the young guy.
Welcome, man.
Now
welcome
I'm like the vet, and
it's
you for
weird.
I know, of course. I know, and
it's
it's
hard questions for you too.
all the time. And they call, people are calling me Unc, and I'm like, I'm not 30. Like, once I hit 30, I'm still 28. Like, I'm still in my 20s. Chill out. But it is awesome because they give me, they push me and they motivate me, and it just like. It gives me another reason to compete, and like, okay, these dudes are 23 years old. They got all the energy in the world, and me, I'm flying. I'm like, all right, I gotta really come to it. Like Malcolm and all these dudes are flying. I gotta be on my stuff every day, and I love that. You know what I mean?
Well, I heard Clint say that they have to install the offense, they have to get the plays right, and then they have to check, oh yeah, where's Max? Max, last one from me. I remember a few years ago when Tom Brady first started coming out to practices, you told me that one of the best pieces of advice was to develop more leaders around you. And hearing Fernando talk here into training camp, he's saying that you've pulled him aside, you've passed wisdom on leadership to him. Why has that been important to you to get in the year of the #1 overall pick?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's the #1 overall pick. He's going to be, at some point, he's going to be out there playing. And it's just the reality of this league, It's a quarterback-driven league. I'm a defensive guy, and I hate to say that. I kill quarterbacks for a living.
That's right. I know what it is. I'm comfortably close to you right now, and I know you.
We get along. Derek knows that really well. We had a lot of tough days together. But ultimately, you know what I mean? Like, in this league, you need a great quarterback to win and compete. And Fernando's going to be that guy at some point, and I want to see him succeed. I want this organization to succeed. I'm a Raider to the core, and I want to win more than anything. So it's going to take all of us, not just myself. It's everyone. It's all three levels, you know what I mean? And you talk back to the Patriot days back then, they had Teddy Bruschi at linebacker, they had Rodney Harrison at safety, they had Richard Seymour up front, they had vets and dudes everywhere that led. So I don't want to just be the only guy talking all the time. it can't just be me. It's not basketball where Kobe grabbed the dudes and be like, no, this is what we're doing. There's 15 dudes on the team. You got 90 guys on the roster right now and 40 coaches, or I don't know if we have so many damn coaches. Right. You know how it is. So, like, my point is intentionality, and that's like a big word for me this offseason. I've been intentional with all the things I'm doing, and I want to be intentional with everything. So that includes leadership. Fernando's a great kid. He's got all the talent in the world, and I want him to have all the success in the world and help lead that offensive side, and not wait to be a leader. You got to come in. Rich Bisaccia told me that as a rookie. Like, I was out there. I'm a young dude, 4th-round pick with no expectations, but I was the most productive guy. And he's like, he pulled me in his office one day. He's like, don't wait to lead. He's like, if you want to win, don't wait to lead. If you want to sit around and let these other guys that shouldn't be in a position to lead, good luck. And I was like, all right, I took that to heart, and I've been doing that since. So, yeah, it's we got to have leaders all across the board.
Great to see you back healthy, Max.
Yeah.
Good luck this season.
Yeah.
Good luck the rest of training camp.
Thanks,
Thank you for your time.
Always.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Just give me more Crosby.
You gotta love that.
I mean, are you serious? Mike, we've talked to him a couple times. That was like too short of an interview.
I know.
Like, I just give this dude a show at some
Just
point.
let him go, man.
It's unbelievable. It really is. He's a wealth of knowledge and obviously the motor that always turns on. Meanwhile, we'll shift our attention now to a Washington Commanders team that, quite frankly, we expected a lot more from. But when you lose your starting quarterback for 10 games, not a whole lot of good things can happen for your franchise. Terry McLaurin, by the way, missed 7 games with a quad injury. We will hear from Scary Terry coming up in just a bit. But when you're a guy that is, by all accounts, like a future of this league in which Aiden can actually produce, how catastrophic was last season in terms of the mental when you're playing this position coming back this upcoming year?
Yeah, I do think it could be catastrophic to young players who aren't as mentally strong as Jaden Daniels. I think this kid is built the right way. I've talked to Dan Quinn about him multiple times. Dan Quinn's like, Mike, this dude, you would think he's been in the National Football League for 5 or 6 years already. That's how mature he is. But I do think Jaden definitely needs to be more mindful when he runs the football. Hopefully he put on a little bit more weight this offseason. He has the frame. I just think he just needs to just put some more weight on that frame a little bit so that he can take some of the hits. He is a guy that can move with the football. He's very dangerous when he does run with the football. He forces one-on-one on the outside when he uses his legs, but when he actually gets to the point of contact, he has to make a decision whether to get down, get out of bounds, and protect himself. And one thing you did read on that board also, Terry McLaurin being injured last year, to me that was paramount to this offense, to the success of this offense. He is the coverage dictator for this offense, and if he goes down, it just makes playing quarterback, whoever's at the quarterback position, it just makes playing quarterback that much harder.
And there's going to be expectations on him to carry this team because the reality is, Rob, last season, this defense was tough to watch. Worst total defense in the NFL. The good news is it can only get better, right?
Go up from here, right? You know what? And it's embodied in their first-round pick in Sonny Styles. I covered him last year in my college football coverage. And this dude takes up, he takes up a lot of space. When he's standing in front of you. He's like 6'4", 255 pounds, something like that. And I can only imagine a quarterback dropping back, having a 4 vertical route combination, and this middle linebacker dropping back and getting in the passing lanes. He's very tough to throw over top of. And he's played in some complicated defenses at Ohio State. I think he's going to be mature enough to be able to handle the green dot and be the defensive communicator for the Washington Commanders. And if so, if they can get this guy going, he can blitz, he can rush. He's an athletic rusher. He can handle the athletic quarterbacks in the NFC East. This dude is a big candidate for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
You can paint this picture better than most because of your college football coverage as well. But ahead of the draft, when we were getting ready here on NFL Network 4, the more conversations I had, the more positive conversations around Styles continued to pop up. And it wasn't just his ability on the field. It was his ability to absorb so many different things. What were you hearing about him?
Well, first of all, I was hearing he lined everybody up on the defense. Him and Caleb Downs were like the defensive geniuses for Matt Patricia in that Ohio State defense. He knew when to send blitzes. He knew when to control line stunts. He was the quarterback of the defense at Ohio State, and they ran a very intricate defense. Multiple years he was in college, and I think him playing in those intricate defenses allowed him and prepared him to be a rookie starter in the National Football League and call defense. And so highly intelligent, and the dude has football instincts. I mean, his dad played in the National Football League. That's what it's all about.
When it's in your DNA, it feels like things can get fast-tracked a little bit later on Sundays. Meanwhile, we'll have a little bit more reaction from what we saw at Commanders camp a little bit later. Terry McLaurin missed a slew of games last season. We will hear from the wide receiver and not only his health, but we'll find out how Jaden Daniels is looking out on that football field to see number 5. Good to see him.